Hi, everyone. Welcome to those that are already here. That is awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me. Two things, please let me know. One, that you can see me, and two, that you can hear me, because that is obviously helpful. And hi to Rosemary, Audrey, if you're still here. I knew you got here early. Sabrina, hi. Rachel, hi. Terry, Kelly. Yes, thanks, Kelly. And just a quick, this doesn't need to be on a live, but I'm going to say it. Terry, your package for the membership came back to me because the address was ripped. So it's getting sent back to you tomorrow, just so that you know. Hi, Kelly and Christina. Hi. Welcome to everyone. Today is a live fun times here on YouTube where I'm going to just play my art journal like I've been doing every couple of weeks. I hope we brought something to do and play along with me. And if not, if this is just for funsies and to have me in the background, I know some people just watch for inspiration, and that's all fine too. Just remember that the sound is cutting in and out. Is that for everyone? Just to make sure. Because if so, then I might have to switch to a different mic. So just let me know if it's cutting out in and out for everyone. Okay, good. Kelly, it might be, unfortunately, your internet connection if that's happening. Hi, Paula. Paula, I sent you an email about a question about a retreat, so just in case you didn't get it. So here we are playing, and what was inspiration. Watching me for inspiration. I just wanted to say something about that. I absolutely believe that watching YouTube videos or Instagram Reels or TikToks or whatever you do is also a way to be creative, because sometimes we just need inspiration from someone else, and that's how we get it. However, if that's all you do, no. You do need to actually, do something and pick up an art supply or doodle or put down some watercolor or just collage a bunch of paper to a piece of paper to another piece of paper. Just collage one piece to another piece. Do something, because that is what will get you going. Gathering the inspiration off of here on YouTube and watching me is wonderful. And I am very grateful, believe me, that you're here and hanging out with me and, supporting me. But I also want you to do stuff. So take what I'm doing, maybe take one little thing about what I'm doing today and see if you can incorporate it either into your practice now, or can incorporate it into something maybe that you do over the next couple of days. I'm also a huge proponent of the word daily-ish. A creative practice doesn't have to be daily. Sometimes that sets us up for failure, because if we miss a day, we automatically throw it all to the wind. Whew, I failed. Darn it. But if you say daily-ish, then, 3, 4, 5 days, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, adds up after a while. And that can be, that's a practice. That's a practice. It's a good practice. So do that, okay? Kelly, I'm glad it's working out. Yay! And hi, Dee. Welcome. Diane. Yay. All right. Let me put my hands in the spotlight and let's see what we're going to do today, shall we? Alrighty. So I grabbed 2 journals today. 2 you've seen before, because the whole point of these Friday sessions is for me to finish a journal. Maybe. That's a never-ending thing. That's not like it's a goal, but it's not that, if I don't finish a journal, it's the be-all, end-all. So these 2 journals, in case you're new here, is this one. They're not both junk journals. This one is a junk journal. The cover is made from one of those postcards that we all get in the mail from the plumber, or from, I don't know, when it's election season, from all those things. So, whatever you get, that's what this is. And then it's just covered in paper. This was something I did as the paper on the cover. Perhaps I should do it sideways. Was a demo sheet, and I just, glued it on. Called it good. All right. And then the inside, the same thing. I just glued on some under paper and went with that. So hopefully y'all are seeing me and it's not bouncing too much, because on my end it seems to be stuttering and I don't have a whole lot of control over that. So Rachel said that she spent the afternoon working in her journal. Now she's curled up to rest, but that's fine. That's okay, because you did something. All right, so we have this one journal, and then we have this other journal, which if you had ever done snack time with me, which is a free class that I offer when I open my memberships, then this was a journal that we made. If you're already in my membership, then this class is there for you. And yes, I see that it's stuttering. I think there's not a whole lot I can do, unfortunately, y'all. So let's just hope that it works itself out. If I go and come back in, it will end the play. So we're just gonna see what we can do. So sorry about that. I'm just gonna keep going, and hopefully y'all will be able to follow along. So the other thing that I have the two journals to play in today. The other thing that I brought to my craft table is two things that I wanted to share. One was some rubber stamps that, some of my hand-carved rubber stamps. And if you like carving rubber stamps and would like a really easy lesson on it, there is a link. There's a video in my feed, but I also put the link down below in this live. So if you want afterwards, you can go, or if you're watching this on the replay, you can go and check out my stamp carving video. So there's that. And then the second thing I brought was, I currently have one of my Happy Mail packets up for sale. It's called the Elements of Delight. Yes, fingers crossed that the stuttering has calmed down. It's called the Elements of Delight, and I do it every other month or so, monthly-ish. I'm a fan of the word ish, y'all. Add an ish. And so I brought a few of the items that are going to be in that Elements of Delight, which there's I pull out things that don't print right, like these stickers didn't print right. This one got ripped, but so I use them. So these are stickers that are in... Hi, Tammy. These are stickers that are in the Elements of Delight currently. So I have that. This is a little ruffle snippet roll that's in the Elements of Delight. It's made from a sewing pattern, a very old sewing pattern, and my mom helped me, and we sewed up a bunch of little ruffles. So I have that. And then a few other things from older Elements of Delight, some pockets that we have, some pages from... a calendar from last year that is available, a little, what is this? I can't think of the word. What is the word? Paperclip. A hidden paperclip thing that didn't work. So I have that. Some paper. These are going to show up for some members of the membership. Y'all will be getting something like this soon. That's on its way to y'all. So some paper and delightful things. So this is stuff that's in Elements of Delight. There's always a prompt card in the Elements of Delight every time I send it out. So for those that are buying it regularly, you actually could, put a hole in here and put them on a ring, and you have a whole ring of prompts, which is delightful. So I brought the prompt deck because I think I'm going to use this as my inspiration today. And then, there's just a bunch of other things sitting around my table. Something I demoed recently, a pocket, a tea bag. I ordered some tea from Pete's Coffee. They have tea. And it came in this super fun bag. And I was like, awesome, that makes a great pocket. So I saved it. All right, so let's see what we're going to do. By the way, there is a link for the Elements of Delight below if you are interested in finding out more about that and would like to order your own ephemera Happy Mail. So let's just find ourselves a little page. Here we go. We're going to use this journal. I like doing something on the background always because it helps me start. Okay, so for those that always have a hard time starting, this journal was designed so that we did stenciling and just some watercolor and stamping all over all the pages so that when you come to the page, you have something to work with. And so, you know, now I have some blue to work with, and I'm going to use this little prompt. And it doesn't have to be in this order. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything. I'm just going to see what comes up. So I've got add a face, use something from nature, and add a pocket. Those are the 3 prompts. And should I wish more prompts, then I have a whole prompt deck that's here. Okay, and you can find this prompt deck on Etsy if you're interested in that. My Etsy store is linked below. Everything's always linked below. I try to link everything below. So I have a couple things. So I knew I was doing these prompts and I didn't want to have to get up a zillion times. So I went to add a face and I whipped through, where are they? This little calendar, and it's other artists' work. And it's from last year, so the dates and the days won't match. But I've pulled out 3 faces that I found super fun. Okay, so I've got add a face. Use something from nature. Now, always remember that prompts are interpretive. It doesn't mean that you have to go out and grab a stick or a leaf, which you certainly can. What it means is how are you interpreting that right off the top of your head? And how I interpreted it was, 1, these stickers. Okay, so I've got tulips and a rose, which are from nature. Use something from nature. And then I also have a dragonfly stamp, so that is also nature available. So I have that. And then add a pocket. So I have a variety of, I have like this little square that I could make into a pocket if I wanted. I actually have a pocket that was part of one of the Elements of Delight recently that was filled with a bunch of stuff. So, does this fit? This doesn't fit in this journal, so not necessarily would be a good idea for this journal, but I have pockets that are pre-made. And I have this tea bag, which is obviously a pocket. So what can I use? This is also nature-y, which I absolutely, oh my God, I just love this paper. It's nature-y. It could be a pocket, I don't know. So let's see what we're going to do. The first thing that is screaming at me to do is to stamp this dragonfly. So I also have this blue, and I have, by the way, if you're wondering, what am I zipping through? These are just it's my bag of inks, rubber stamp inks, okay? Hi, Kitty. Kitty said, good afternoon, I just found you yesterday. I've been binging my videos. Thanks. You have been instrumental in helping me overcome the blank page terror. I spent the morning creating prompt tickets. Yo, you're very welcome. Yeah, you. Okay, good for you. All right, so this is a stamp pad. You can see I take my stamp pads to in-person classes, and somewhere along the line, it is no longer this green color. It is now a crazy, I don't know what happened to it. Things happened. And, but I'm okay with that. Because no supply is precious, y'all. Use them. Actually, it's coming back. The first couple times I used it, there was so much yellow in it. It was like the craziest olive green color. Now I think it's coming back a little bit more. Although I don't think the sparkles are showing up that much. Let's do that. All right, and then we'll just have, I love, love, love a ghost stamp. I just find it so fun as a background to stamp you know, if I'm going to use up the ink, why not just use it on what's on the page? Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly was recommending my membership. Yes, it's delightful. If you're interested in it, that is also linked below. Thank you, my dear. And thank you for saying it's life-changing. For me too. It was. All right, so now I've got a little nature. I'm sure I'll add some more. I've got this face. This face is just intriguing me so much. And here's the thing. Don't go crazy as far as what do I put down next? Because I love both of these. This is not working because of the page I picked. It's not working for me. It might be working for you, but it's not working for me. This is working because there's green in it. This is working also because it's green in it. I'm aware of the coloring, that I have a rose. Could I tie this rose to this rose? Let me go higher. You'll see there's a little bit of collage in this. Excuse my crazy finger. I was doing alcohol inks the other day, and the only color that managed to stain one finger was yellow. Yay, that is so attractive, y'all, so attractive. So, okay, so I've got this. Okay, this is me telling you not to think, and I'm thinking. I'm gonna stop thinking. This is making me delighted. So, I feel like I want this sitting off the page. That's what's saying go and do. So I'm going and doing. And I'm going to cut it out using the leaf because I really enjoy that. I'm not in love with this part of the thing that says April, but I'm not going to cover it yet. The reason being, oh, that works better. The reason being is that I probably will put something over it. And now I'm kind of just moving it around. My first instinct was to do here, but now I have this gorgeous shape. So what if this becomes part of my pocket? Okay, so could this be a pocket? Yes, yes it could. So I want to trim this so that it's more rounded. A lot of the decisions I'm making out loud might feel very random, and you know why? Because they are. I'm just going with my instinct. What's popping into my head? What's showing up? What feels like the next best choice? So here's me pulling back out. I love this in this corner. I love this dragonfly peeking out, but I feel like now I've lost a dragonfly, so I'm going to put one back. No right or wrong, just do. Let's go. I could have gone over the string, but it's kind of a pain in the butt, so Ooh, see? I didn't even mean to do that, but now the dragonfly has extended the face, and now it looks like her eye. Oh, that's delightful. Okay, so now the dragonfly is coming out of here and it extends the face. This is where you have to play and see what's going to happen, okay? Because you just never know what will show up. All right, so if we're going to turn this into a pocket, I'm going to just do, this is art glitter glue, which just got everywhere. Art glitter glue. Okay, so I'm going to do it not as a pocket like here. I'm going to do it more as what I guess is called a tuck spot. So side and bottom. And so side and bottom. Obviously I can't glue and talk at the same time. You can put it up against the edge. I'm liking that little tiny bit of color. Not color, lack of color, I should say. A tiny bit of white. As I was putting it down, I listened to me, which said, do not put it against the edge. I try not to question my decisions. The reason being, I don't know a lot of times why I'm coming up with the way I am, what I'm saying. And if I question it constantly, I'll never finish. Okay? So I didn't question it. I just glued it so that there was a tiny bit of the paper still showing. What it did to me after, because this is me always having to think like, how do I explain what I'm doing out loud to y'all? You don't have to do this in your regular practice. Just go with the instincts and let it be. But as soon as it happens, I like to think like, why would I have done that? What did it do to the piece? What it did to the piece was this little white now emphasizes the white of the face to me. Okay? It almost frames it and gives the white more, it's more pronounced. That is for me, not necessarily what it would have done for you. Okay? All right. So now this is screaming, make me an eye. Because it is. So I'm going to make this one an eye. Sorry, I'm not talking as I'm doing this because I'm trying to concentrate on sketching this eyeball. All right. And now I have colors already. I don't even have to think about that. Blue and green. And color pencils will work because they're sitting in front of me. So don't make yourself crazy, like trying to find not exactly the right green, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be exact, but I can change a little bit. I'm picking up purple because I can see that there's purple here. You might not be able to see it, but I can see it. All right, that's super fun. I'm seeing some purple here, so I'm actually going to extend that purple out. Why not? Okay. I'm also going to take some purple because now I've added this purple and I have it in my hand. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the colored pencil and just add it into the background, because then as your eye travels across this page, you've got purple, 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 purple. Okay. And it brings it, all across. Yes, Kelly, it's the Creative Playground. Yes, that is my membership. All right, so I need a highlight in my eyeball. So I'm going to follow the highlight. Her highlight on this one is to the left. So now I want to put it and make sure it's to the left. Okay. Oops. And I just used a white Jelly Roll pen. So Paula has a question, kind of, statement question. Sometimes I feel like you have to have an artist's eye to make these decisions. You do have an artist's eye because you create. So that would be the end of that sentence. However, I'm going to continue on with the, I understand that is a legitimate concern and a legitimate question to do. I make these decisions because I allow myself to make the decisions. I just trust that I'm going to come up with something. Here's one of the reasons I love art journaling is if I make this page and I'm like, well, all those decisions were kind of interesting, not quite what I was going for, I just do this. Oh, look, another blank page. Let's try this one. That's why I love art journaling. Turn the page. This is a giant experiment, and the only way you're going to know if the decision is the right one to make is to try it and just play with it and keep making those decisions. Keep making them, okay? And if you are creative, you have to learn to trust yourself. You've got to learn to trust in what your inner voice is, listening to your inner voice, listening. What am I trying to say? What is the, like, as I'm constantly like, what am I noticing? What am I seeing? Okay, like the next thing, I put this down and I'm always looking. What is that? What am I noticing? What am I seeing? It is practice. Yes, it is a honing of your artist's eye is in the practice of doing it and getting it slightly off, getting it slightly right, getting it the way you want it. Just remember also, this is about how you want it, not how I want it. My artist's eye and your artist's eye will never be the same. You might have made this, like stamped this and never seen, well, let's add a second eyeball on. I saw it, so I did it, okay? But the more you watch other people and practice things like that for yourself, like watch what I'm doing, look at the piece of paper that you just maybe glued down. What's the first thing that popped up? Like there's so much. Look how much is happening in this paper. But something is going to catch your eye. Ahaha, no pun intended. So 2 things besides the eye are still catching my attention, okay? This circle on her cheek and the letters B. I don't even know what it is. It's like a B and a little plus sign. B plus. B plus. B plus. Okay? So those 2 things are still catching my eye. So how can I take those and expand on them? So let's see. How can I take those and expand on them? One thing that I was like, okay, this is brown. What's sitting around me that's brown? Well, this is kind of brown. I got lots of brown happening in this. Could I take this and maybe cut a circle out or punch a circle out? I'm going to grab a punch. So you got to, I'm going to grab a punch, and I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know, but there's some brown here and it kind of goes there. There's some brown here. So I'm just going to go in. All right, so I've got a couple circles. I'm just going to play. What do I think? Is it enough? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe what it needs is, okay, I'm digging in my, because I know y'all can hear this, so I'm like, I'm digging in my things again. No, that's too light. What I'm looking for, as you're like, what are you digging for? I will actually tell you. This is darker than this. So what if I took some darker ink and inked it up? I don't have distress inks. Like a lot of you, or not even a lot of you, I don't know if you all do it or not, but a lot of artists are all about distressing and have distress tools and their little sponges, and I just don't. For no other reason than I just don't. But you can use a stamp pad, you could use some watercolor, you can use whatever you want. You don't need to go buy all the fancy stuff if you don't want to. This is that's hilarious. It is the Distress Color Ground Espresso is just it's not Distress ink, that's all, okay? So now these feel more like this. They feel a little bit darker and a little bit richer. Do I like them? Do I want them here? Do I feel like they add to the page? I'm going to just audition a few things. Like that feels kind of fun. To stick that behind. I'll stick it down so the pocket is still viable, but what it does now is extend her mouth. So let me glue that down. All right, so this is a lot. Like I tend to work a little bit faster than this. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm enjoying sharing all these thoughts with y'all today. It's really quite fun. Oops. There's a pattern on this. That's why I'm flipping it around, just to see if the pattern, I'm going to kind of line it up. I like that. Ooh, fun. So I'm taking features now from this and just adding it out into the page, okay? And then I noticed when I put this here that I have the space. So what if they went in a line, okay? Again, noticing, paying attention, seeing what, without getting caught in the details, because I'm saying this and I know some of you are still going to get caught in the details, but is that the right place? It's the right place for right now, so glue it the heck down. Okay, so like, I don't know where this is going. It's just kind of fun and interesting, and it's kind of crazy. And there's a bee here that keeps talking to me. Also listen to what's keep talking to you. I used to, oh, here they are. I had another little pair of scissors somewhere, but I don't know where they are. What is talking on your sheet? It doesn't, on your table. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be that, you know, but that's the wrong color. And that's the whole idea behind our creative practice is to play and have fun. And well, behind how I teach, let me say it that way. Behind how I teach, let me cut this off, is to play and have fun. It's not about the perfection. It's not about, well, I need it to look this way because then I need to stick it on Instagram, or, you know, if you're going to do it as a job where you're like, well, I really want to sell in a gallery, or I'm going to do this as a job, then we can have different conversations about, you know, things that you can do about that. But if most of you that come around and hang out with me do this as a hobby and a fun time and a release, a creative expression, a way to release stress. So let it be that. Let it be a giant curiosity of what ifs and see what happens. All right, so we got this crazy little, I might have to cut that. Let's see how we got to cut that out. Fussy cutting is not my favorite thing in the world, but I feel like I'm rambling, so I might as well just fussy cut this bee because it's super cute and I like it. All right, so I don't know where this bee is going to go. Let me just double check. I'm looking for a space for the bee. Now, I'm trying to remember that this is a pocket, y'all. It's still a pocket. All right, I'm not sure. I'm just looking at the chat 1 second. Make sure there's not a question. Thank you, Kelly, for chatting with everyone. Okay. All right, so as much as I want it here, which I could, you know what? What the heck? Let's put it there. What's the worst that could happen, y'all? The reason why I didn't want to put it there is because there's still a pocket, but I really love it here on top of this leaf. So, you know what? I'm not questioning what I'm doing. I'm just going to glue it down. And try not to glue my pocket closed. So, also, just because there's a pocket here doesn't mean I have to put something in the pocket, y'all. Okay? You don't have to put anything in the pocket. You just leave it be. Okay, it needs some splatters. Or if you were here the last time, fly specking, which, boy, that was a conversation. It needs some black splatters. Oh, I want to try something. Someone said the other day that they took their, and to some of you, you're going to be like, well, of course. I've always seen people use their paint markers as a splattering tool. Oh no, don't hide, Kelly, please. Don't, you're not hijacking anything, love. Ooh. Oh, it worked. They were using their paint pen as a splattering tool, and I was like, how are they doing that? And it's because they were making it super juicy. And it's going everywhere. I would love it if people that have been around me a lot, you are never hijacking anything by just chatting. And see, it's not working for me that great. I always want people to feel comfortable to share their experiences and what's going on with them. And that's why we have chats. If I didn't want you to use the chat, I would turn off the chat. Because guess what? There's a way to do that. All right. So I'm going to have to use paint. So I have a very old bottle of black acrylic paint. It's solid. I love it. And yes, I think that my paint pen is just, the paint pen I just picked up was very flat. I used it, I think it was one of the ones I used to paint the mandala on my wall, which I will try and remember and show you if you'd like to see it. I don't know that many of you have actually seen it, but boop, 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 boop. And I don't think it was just having enough ink coming out of it to splatter with. That's all. So now the black helps pull all the black that's over here out into the piece. So I'm kind of liking how this is. This is the focal point, and then there's some other little elements just floating around. The color in the background reflects the eyes. The purple comes out from here. The brown is here. The black helps draw it all together. The only thing that still upsets me, that's in quotes, is this little section right here. So I think it needs a word or, yeah, probably a word. So let me grab my word box. And weirdly enough, I'm working on my word box. Nope, I need the, let me see. Hang on. I have the computer sitting on top of where all my words are. So I'm just going to go to the Tim Holtz books because, you know, those are delightful. This is very wet. So I do need to, ooh, okay. So I'm just going to use, whoops, y'all can't see, sorry. Longing for the story is going to go here, but I need to take the paint off. So drum. All right. All right, so I'm going to let this dry, but I think that that's good. It doesn't need much more than that. I think it has so much happening on this side to look at that is just beautiful. And again, just because it has a pocket doesn't mean you have to put something in the pocket, okay? So don't forget, my pocket has stuff in it. So it's almost like there is stuff in the pocket. The rest of the dragonfly is in the pocket. Okay. All right. Splattering lessons, Rachel. Okay. Splattering lessons. I don't know that I could give a splattering lesson. That's a great idea. It goes everywhere, just so that you know that it does go everywhere. Splattering a lot of times has to do with the consistency of your paint. So if it's, you know, like, what you're using. If you're using a fan brush, a lot of people like to splatter with either a fan brush. This would be a fan brush in case that's new to you. I never know where people are in their artistic journey. People like to use a toothbrush. Okay, that's usually very fine. This tends to spread it out farther and also a little bit on the fine side, depending on what you do. I use whatever is in my hand, quite honestly, which was a round brush. All right, and the more water you have, the juicier it gets. Tapping it helps control it a little bit better, as opposed to just whacking your finger on it. If you can sit over it and kind of like tap on it, you'll control it a little bit better. But I think one of the joys of splattering to me is the unpredictability of it and where is it going to go. So I kind of let it do its own thing. I don't mind that it's doing its own thing. You might want to put something down. I forget who it is. It might have been Diane. You can let me know if it was you, where someone went crazy splattering recently and it got all over their walls. I don't remember exactly who told me that. It was someone, and I found that hilarious. So yes, just be careful, okay? All right, so we're gonna put this to the side, and we'll pull open another journal. So a couple things, also as I was, preparing for today, I have this, I don't know that, it's possible I made it on a YouTube live. I have no idea anymore. But, a little cello bag. I glued some bits to it. I added a word. I splattered, y'all. I'm always splattering. That's been a signature thing of mine since I started painting. I splatter everything. And then I made a tag. You could use the back for journaling. And it's just been sitting around, and I was like, well, what if I just, glued it? It could stick up above this, which is kind of fun, or we could flip it around so that sits there, because then that shows the design of this a little better, and then that would sit up here, because that's already on the page. So I'm going to do that, but I need something to go, I have this little white schmutz that's here, and I need some stuff on this page. So what can I do? I do not have white stamp ink. That is something that I actually don't have and wish I did have. But what I do have, I just thought of something. All right, so something that's in this month's Elements of Delight is a bigger piece of this. This is what's left over. This is drywall screening, for those that know what that is. And it's just stuck on a piece of printer paper. But I use it, one, as a stencil, which is really fun, okay? And two, I use it as collage fodder because it's a really fun sticky thing. So what if I do some white paint? Let's grab some white paint. I need a sponge. Okay, so I've got this white, it's left over from when I did this modeling paste. This is modeling paste on the other side that just went over. So that's all that is. But now there's white on that page. So that's my starting mark, the white, okay? Yes, Rachel said she's been whacking instead of tapping. Yes, tapping is, I tend to just, with the splattering. But yes, if you kind of tap, you have a little more control. All right, so I'm going to use part of this little thing, boop, and some white. So just got some white acrylic, whoops, more than I needed, and a sponge. And so I want this to sit on here. So all I'm looking for is for it not to be screaming black. And the first time I always pick up paint, it's always too heavy. So if there's a heavy spot, then make another spot heavy. Okay, I don't want to try and take it away. I'm just going to make it thicker so that there's two thicker spots. Yes, modeling paste and texture paste are the same thing. I mean, worst comes to worst, you could use spackle. If that's what you have. You're remodeling your house, you got spackle lying around, use some spackle. See what happens. All right. So now it's not so boring. So that's a good thing. I still have a big smudge happening. So what if I made it look deliberate? So if your hand moves, you're trying to paint something and your hand moves, or or you go, splatter crazy. How can you make it look like I meant to do that? Okay. So now I'm just adding white circles because now that one piece at the top looks deliberate. Like I meant to have all these white circles. And I'm just laying this down just to see, do I want some more? Yeah. Yes, I use white gesso as well for my white paint. It's just that this was sitting around and handy. So you can use acrylic paint. This is, and I don't, snow titanium. You can see the lid's broken. It's, I'm really fancy with my stuff. White gesso is also, I always have white gesso on hand. If you're ever looking to like try something new, try some gesso. And then since you asked about modeling paste, or modeling paste and texture paste the same, I think it's just different names as far as I can tell. This one is my favorite modeling paste, the Light and Fluffy from the Crafter's Workshop. I like that it is, the light and fluffy part is important because it goes on really thin. If you put it thin, it dries quickly. It's not super goopy. And so that's a good thing, okay? Because I'm looking to work, I want to work quickly when I'm using modeling paste. I don't want to have to put modeling paste down and then wait like overnight for that sucker to dry because some of that stuff is really thick. All right, so the other thing that's on this is there are hot pink splatters. So again, how can I tie? Whoops, got a little crazy with the pink there. Did not need this much pink. I also don't want pink splatters going on that one, so I'll put that. So pick up a little pink. Not enough water. Sometimes I find it easier to splatter with watercolor because it thins out so much faster than acrylic paint. I'm also getting this all over my table. Okay, so now it ties in together, all right, and it doesn't look so boring. Now this is not an example of like, oh my God, that's an amazing art journal page. That's not what this is about. This is about, I have this piece, I have this black piece of paper. What can I do with it? Well, I could just glue this on, okay, which is what I'm going to do. There's wet paint here, so I'm going to mute just for a hot second and hit it with a gun. Hang on. All right, the other thing I can do is decide where this is going. And let that, just smush the paint down. All right, so I need to put glue just below together. And I honestly, I'm not sure if this is the right glue for this art glitter glue, but it's what's sitting here. If it comes up later, I will glue it with something else. So I've accomplished a couple things. One, I finished a page in my journal. Two, I used up something that was sitting on my table, okay? And three, I added some zhuzh at the top of my journal, which is always fun to me. And now I have an interactive piece in my journal, okay? You could do something back here. I don't know. No, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if anything is like, do this. Probably not. But maybe a word or something. Does it need a little phrase? Use your stuff. Okay? It's shiny, and I have this thing that's this little saying that says, choose to shine. So all it does is just make the back of this not so boring, okay? You don't have to, it could be that you're fine with that. I just wanted to have a little something something back there. The other thing I can do is to grab, these are my paint pens. Don't you love it when someone is just rifling through their stuff while live on a camera and you can hear all the noise? I have a gold paint pen somewhere. For some reason, I never seem to be able to find it when I need it. All right, well, I can't find the gold paint pen. I'm sure it's somewhere very special and I've forgotten, but here's a bronze, that'll work. I have a bronze Sharpie. The reason I was looking for it was just to add a little extra around the words, just to make it pop a little bit, okay? So now I could still use this as a stencil, or I can save it and use it as a piece of collage fodder. You know, it is kind of interesting against, like it's really fun against that paper because it's see-through, it's got texture, you could color it if you wanted to. So if you don't have yourself a roll of drywall tape, it's not that expensive, it will last you forever. And if you get an Elements of Delight and you'd like to try it, you'll have a big old strip in there. So that's always an option. All right, so I finished a page here and a double page spread. And I still have time. I'm good. I can keep playing. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, something else I thought of while I have this big tag that's been lying around, and I was like, I wonder if that could be like a pocket somehow, or so I'm gonna go with what my thought was, which was, what if I wrap it around the paper? So I've got a ruler. I'm just scoring it is what I'm doing. So that I can bend it easy. If you have a scoreboard, that would be delightful. So it would be here and then here. Which seems like fun. Sorry, incoming phone call of spam. I also have this fun ruffle, because I'm thinking of gluing this down here and having, like, I can have a pocket at the top. I have another tag hanging around here. That's some watercolor and doodling. I don't know, do I like that? Do I think it's fun? Do I want something else? This is where you just keep kind of float. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, that's beautiful. I like the way that looks at the bottom of that, because I'm trying to make this into a pocket. All right. Again, what I always say, don't think. What's my first instinct say? My first instinct says, glue this down. So I'm going with my first instinct. I don't know where it's going, but I'm going with it. I can't make one decision if I don't try something. I can't make a decision, I should say, if I don't try something. So I'm going to try this. I'm going to glue this down on the bottom of this. Okay. Maybe I'll glue something on the other side. We'll see. Sorry, forgot my phone was not off. All right, so then when I glue this down, it's got something fun on the bottom, which is what I like. Okay. All right, I'm going to glue this down. I want it still to be a pocket at the top, so I think I'm going to do here, here, and here. It doesn't matter how wide the pocket is, I just want to make sure it sticks down. Okay. And if this is bothering me a little bit, then I could just run a little glue on it because it's kind of not connected. So I'm going to glue that little piece down. Pin the glue. All right, beautiful. So I do have a little piece of this left. And I'm just gluing stuff down, y'all. Would you have done what I'm doing? Would you have taken it in a different direction? All those are questions that are legitimate to ask yourself. Because that's how you find out if what you're doing. I still got this pocket happening. Whoops, sorry, not in camera. Now I have a whole page sitting here. Nope, that doesn't work. I was gonna say, what about a pocket inside a pocket? I'm still thinking about the whole face thing. So I'm gonna glue this, cut this out. Again, not thinking. I mean thinking, but you know what I mean, not overthinking. All right, now I've got a statue head. There's roses on here. am just playing, I'm picking up everything that kind of works with the same color scheme. Because I'm not really sure where I'm going with this, as you can tell. But again, how do I know what to do if I do nothing? So I'm trying stuff. And in the end, it might look like crazy and a little weird and not exactly what I was looking for. And yet, I tried something. Like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I'm just going with it because right now, I don't really know. I don't really know where I'm going. So I'm going to just, as I said, try stuff. Not everything, it has to be the best art journal page ever. That is unrealistic. But it can be the best art journal page for right now. Maybe I don't want this. So you're watching my crazy brain in motion, y'all. Huh, that works. And then I have a sticker that didn't print correctly. Well, it did print, it didn't come off correctly. So let's see if I can get it off the sticker paper without ruining it. And then, you know, again, it's just something that's sitting here on my table. It's not perfect. I'm gonna chop it off the top just because it's sticky, so there you go. Bye, Kelly. Thanks. I don't know. What do you think? It's kind of crazy. Yes, it is a little surrealistic. I mean, you know, I don't really know where I'm going with this. It's kind of just there, and it's kind of fun, and it's, you know, I don't really, not really sure. I feel like at this point, this needs to be like maybe a quote, you know, like a really long quote of something. So I'm going to just leave it be for right now. I do have a pocket. This does not work in this pocket. And I say that it doesn't work because of the purple. It's not working for me color-wise, but I have all these other tags that I haven't finished yet. So if that was my tag, the colors go, which is really beautiful. So I'm gonna leave that tag in there. I can add some more ribbon, so then I start doing the zhuzhing out of the top. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, there's a point where you also can just stop and say, well, I'm not really sure right now what the next thing I want to do is. Does it need words? Does it, you know, is there something else in my stash? It is, sorry, I'm banging things. It is brown, so I can't necessarily just stamp it with any color. I don't have any white stamp ink, which I keep saying and means that I probably need some white stamp ink. Is there, some stenciling that could work, that would tie in, what's above and below it? I don't know, but I find it really intriguing, whatever it is. Okay. And then I still have, this here, which I don't know what I'll do with that, but it's glued down ever so slightly, which I can unglue, but probably I will, glue it here and have a tuck spot here. Okay. So I'll have a space to add stuff. So yeah, I didn't finish this, but that's okay. I can always find something else at another later time to play with. All right. So I'm gonna come back. Hi. So I hope that was helpful to hang out with me today and watch me play my art journal, watch me kind of think out loud. I know that it helps a lot of you for me to kind of explain why I do things. Again, I don't always know why I do things. I just kind of let the instinct, let things speak to me, and I really do allow my instinct and my intuition to take over and just play and just go down the curiosity. And, you can plan out an art journal page till kingdom come, and then it just doesn't work. Okay. Believe me, this is from someone who plans vision boards. I take all the stuff and I put it down, and then I take a photo of it, and then I move it off to the side, and then I glue them all down. So it's not that you have to plan it. I try not to do that as much as I can. If, with vision boards, sometimes I do have to do that. But with my art journal pages, I really want them to be just spontaneous. Like, what the worst thing that can happen is that you have to turn the page. Okay. And you've learned something from what you did, and you realize you don't love orange, or you're not I need some help with splattering. Like Kelly said, like, I have to go and learn some more something. Maybe I need, more pink in my life, and I need to go find all the stuff that's pink because that's what I'm feeling like today, and just glue it down and see what happens. So just really allow yourself to play. That's really my entire rant and philosophy, is to play and use the curiosity that we had as children. Most, I don't say all because some do. Most children just play. They just scribble and change the color and try new things and don't second guess themselves. And so can you tap into that? Can you tap into the what ifs and the curiosity and the play, and let our adult minds shush up for a little bit? So I hope it's fun. All right, so I will be back. Yes. Hi, Mr. I'm glad you jumped in. Ooh, that's awesome, Tammy. I can't wait to hear more about the all that. Thank you all for being here, and I will be back, in 2 weeks, hopefully. If you're on my newsletter list, I do send out an email to remind people that I'm here on Fridays. It's every other Friday for right now. The other thing I want to just say is, if you are new and you're running across this, subscribe, because then you can hit the notification bell and it will tell you that I'm going live. And then, but get on my newsletter list. That's where you learn about all the stuff that's happening in my world. And as Kelly has mentioned, thank you, Kelly, so much for saying it, is I do have a membership called the Creative Playground. You can find out all the information in the links below. I try to keep all the links there, okay? Elements of Delight that I talked about, the link is there. The stamps, if you want to go carve some stamps this weekend, tap into that video. It's a very, very basic how to get started with really cheap stamp, erasers. And yeah, and other than that, I want you all to just have a delightful rest of your Friday and go do something. 5 minutes over the next, let's say, through Sunday night. Let's go with that. If you're here live, through Sunday night, you have to take 15 minutes, whether it's 3 5-minute ones or not, and do something. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be done. It just has to be. Do something. Do something. If you're watching this on the pre-play, in the next 72 hours, set yourself 15 minutes somewhere, 5 minutes at a time, 1 minute at a time, a drive-by of a piece of paper that you doodle on 1 minute while you're waiting for the coffee to brew counts. 15 minutes in the next 72 hours, do something. All right, do something. All right, y'all. Love to everyone.